It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
The taco place?
Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, RoadPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange store. For more coverage of Boise State athletics, check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, now part of the 247 Sports family. Now, here's five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
I never wish teams lose. Oh, jeez. Woo! Teams losing. Oh, shit. Teams losing. Oh, shit. Teams losing. Oh, jeez. Woo! Yeah. You could have given us a warning. Yes. We got bloopers. BJ, we've lost BJ, so I'm doing the show. Oh, there he is.
Wow, that was
oh God.
they just shot the cannon off from about 10 feet away. Right there.
I don't remember what I was saying.
You were talking about the playoff.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Jay. Hopefully none of that to get my Monday morning going, although it certainly would. Here on a Monday morning. That was fun in the pregame show over there at Mackey Stadium, and everybody was like, well, yeah, they do it at 6 o'clock. That was the 6 o'clock cannon. I'm like, well, thanks for letting us know and letting us set up right next to the – maybe that's my fault because I didn't realize I was setting up 20 feet from a cannon. Luckily, when you were standing there, I don't think one you were lucky enough, I guess. I don't know how you would have reacted to that happening, but we're back and talking about a Boise State win on a Monday, and I still have hearing, and nothing happened from that. So how we doing?
I'm good. I'm glad that you and JD survived that moment because that was hilarious. Yeah.
How do you think you would have reacted if that had now when you were by the time you were on, there was more fans in there, the team was on the field, it was a little more it was pretty quiet when JD still came on, so I don't know if you would have handled that any different. But
I don't know, man. When I came on with you, there still weren't many fans in the stands. It was pretty quiet. We looked over our shoulders and there were like, I don't know, 100 people spread out throughout the home side stands. Not many.
And there were more that showed up. The press box side was fairly full, but
I would say a late arriving crowd for sure.
But either way, that was fun as making the rounds and on social. I think it was Dom Sheldon that first clipped it off for us, and it was never had that happen before. Or maybe I have, but nothing to that extent where I'm live on the air and no 4-letter words were said. I guess whoa, you could say as a 4-letter word or whatever else we said, but made it back and got a Boise State win to talk about. And Jay, I think you're the perfect person to host today, and appreciate you on a really busy Monday filling in, swapping with Brad Bedell. He had a meeting for his actual job that he couldn't make work today. So appreciate you coming on. And I think you're the perfect person because there is some angst amongst the fan base. I think that a 24-3 win wasn't good enough for some people. And I think you being the ultra positive guy and now obviously part of Bronco Studios can maybe help folks understand this. And we're going to talk about the game, the win, what was good, what was bad, what we liked, didn't like, and then obviously some other events in the weekend with some other games and even coach firings. And it was another crazy weekend in college football. Jay, we had the basketball team scrimmaging Washington yesterday. We had all kinds of stuff going on, and then obviously a home game this week against Fresno, and then a week from tonight will be Hawaii Pacific, the regular season opener for the basketball team. So no shortage of topics today, and moving forward here on Bronco Studios on BNN, and excited to continue as we do every day at 9 a.m. talk about it here on Bronco Nation News. And Jay, before we dive into some of the particulars, just your overall takeaways, overall thoughts, what you're kind of thinking about, processing in your head as you're boarding that charter flight and heading back to Boise Saturday night, late Friday night, early Saturday morning after the 24-3 win over Nevada.
I mean, maybe you could say offensively it wasn't the prettiest game, but at the end of the day, they won by 3 touchdowns. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. Like, I don't know what team plays their all 3 phases at their peak ability every game of the season. And I also think that when some of it mattered, Boise State, they weren't very explosive offensively in that game. I mean, I think they, technically had a half dozen or so, but I mean, most of them were just barely over what you would consider an explosive play. Really, the one that changed the game maybe was Cam Bates' catch down the sideline for a 37-yard gain, and then Boise State went and scored after that. So, they weren't super explosive, but they did have 2 really impressive long drives. One of them particularly in the fourth quarter where they went, I believe it was 15 plays, 80 yards in 8 minutes and 18 seconds, and that kind of put the game away. And honestly, I think even actually Nathan tweeted it, and it's hard to tell fans how to be a fan. Everybody kind of deals with it differently, and you know what? Even if some of it's negative, you're still probably out there buying Boise State gear and buying tickets to games, hopefully. And if that's the case, that's wonderful. If you are just a mouthpiece that doesn't support in any way, then maybe that's a little more hard. But either way, fans the way they want to be fans. But as Nathan said, it was a 3-touchdown victory on the road in conference play that you never really felt like there was any real doubt Boise State was going to win that game. Like, Nevada never really threatened at any point to really come back. And I mean, maybe the one part that I would say, that it's a little too close for comfort. They decided to run a fake field goal on like 4th and 18 or whatever it was. And after that moment on, there really wasn't. They really didn't even come close from that moment.
Yeah, what I would say is both can be true, right? Like the offense didn't play great. They weren't super explosive. They struggled inside the 5-yard line from 2 yards out to score. Like Maddox Madsen didn't have his best game of the season. Like, you can not play great and have some concerns, I guess, about where things are moving forward, but you can also say that you still won by 21 and you still won on the road in a conference game and stayed undefeated and still kept your hopes alive. And even people are saying during the game, and then I saw it again on Sunday, oh, this is going to hurt them in the polls, and oh, this is going to hurt them. And I guess technically they did go from 4 votes down to 0 in the polls, but there was just so much crazy stuff at the bottom that happened. But I can assure you, Jay, I'm not in those committee meetings, but nobody, if Boise State's back in the mix somehow later in the season for the CFP, no one is going, oh, back in week 7, they only beat Nevada by 21. Like, they only beat Nevada at home last year by 10, so that didn't matter. And they only beat at Wyoming last year by 4, right? Was it at what was it?
Like, wasn't last year's game 28-21 against Nevada?
Might have been 28-21. I guess 2 years ago maybe it was 10. Oh, that proves my point even more. One score game. And then they were losing in the 4th quarter at Wyoming, came back and won that game last year 17-13. And maybe it was the same thoughts. I don't remember. And I'm not defending it. I'm not people say, oh, you're sugarcoating it. No, the offense wasn't great. There are some concerning things there that have to get better. But with that said, I think you can also take a deep breath if you're a fan and go, and we still won by 21 on the road. I mean, this would have been nice to win 45-10 like I predicted, sure. But the spread was 21. You won by 21. And I'll say this, Jay, like the offense has proven that they can score points and move the ball. The defense really hasn't proven.
56 a week prior.
Yeah. So if you're wanting one side of the ball to struggle and one to get going, I would say certainly getting 5 turnovers from the defense and getting, McCoy a pick, getting Irby 2 picks, getting the defense to pitch a shutout in the second half and only give up 3 points in the game, which I think I saw they hadn't done in the Nevada rivalry in a long, long time. Like, if I had to choose, like, for one game, I would take okay, sure, you want all 3 sides. I get it. You want to play the perfect game, all 3 sides. It doesn't happen in college football. It just doesn't happen. I just mentioned last year, you're losing at Wyoming in the 4th quarter and had to score to come back and win that game. And we were all talking about how devastating that loss would have been, in terms of, I'm watching that game in Cayman Islands with Cody Gogler and some of them at the basketball tournament. And they're talking about that literally game could cost them millions of dollars if they don't come back and win it and all this. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, you still won 24-3. I guess just because we're saying you should be happy you won doesn't necessarily mean we're covering for some of the other areas. It was not a perfect game. Certainly Maddox Madsen. I'm not, I thought he made some big throws when needed. I thought the two, a couple running plays were big, but it wasn't his best game of the season. I don't think anyone's arguing that. But I don't know. The people that are just like, legitimately ticked off that they only won by 21 points. They either had 21.5 for the spread, Jay, and they're mad about that, or I don't know, because it just doesn't happen. And folks should know that by now. Last year, years prior, like, you squeak by games, you just, it's ugly sometimes, and you just move on to the next week. And so if that means I'm sugarcoating it or giving them a pass, or you are, I guess that's what it means. But I think fans, again, 50, I think I counted, I went and counted 53 teams lost over the weekend, Jay, like including my Kansas Jayhawks, who just laid an absolute egg to Kansas State. Like, do you want to be one of those kind of fan bases that are ticked off that your team didn't even win the game? Or should you say, hey, we won despite not playing great? Now, if we just get that offense going a little bit, now look at what the defense is doing, man, it could be lights out down the stretch. Like that I guess I just was a little surprised how many were taking like no positives from the game.
Yeah. I think that Boise State, when you really kind of stand back and look at this thing, BJ, I do get the sense like it really shows kind of what is almost going on with college football and how Boise State is still, the cream of the crop when it comes to the Power 5 and especially in the Mountain West Conference. And I guess what I mean by that is I know that, Mike Prater a few weeks ago, I believe, he posted, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe he posted an article talking about how, Boise State's success against Power 5 schools, they haven't had a lot of it lately. And we're just at a time in college football where the financial gap is growing. The divide is growing. I mean, now we have Penn State and LSU, both Power 5 schools that are paying upwards of $50 million. LSU playing over $50 million just to get their head coaches out of there, who both of those guys have had multiple 10-win seasons in the last few years alone, right? And you look at Boise State, and yeah, they might not have a victory there, but they have been flat out dominant against the Mountain West Conference. And they have won 16 straight games, BJ, against Mountain West opponents. They have the longest conference winning streak in the country by more than double. And so I know that, fans might be apparently some might be a little perturbed about what happened on Friday night in Reno, which I'll also remind everybody it was a short week for the Boise State football team. Not only a short week, but a short week going out on the road. Those can be tough situations. They had travel delays that meant they didn't get there until about 22 and a half hours before kickoff. And
you guys landed at what, like after 9 p.m.?
Yeah, I don't even remember it, but it was let's just say like the initial itinerary basically said that, the whole practice day, all the meetings and stuff, snack time, whatever, all the stuff that the players go through should have been winding down when we were landing, and it was almost like lights out time. And so to go from having a few hours there to unwind and then to lay down, I think that, and just go to bed, I think, it threw things off. But by the way, I appreciate the comment, but I do think it's some fans. I don't think all fans are freaking out. Yeah, some. There we go. Operative word. Thanks,
Yeah.
Bronco.
Yeah.
130.
Yeah.
I don't know. So at the end of the day, it's hard to be dismissive of a 16-game winning streak in conference play. Spencer Danielson literally has not lost against a Mountain West opponent since he became the interim head coach, let alone head coach. Maddox Madsen, believe it or not, has never lost a Mountain West Conference game as a starting quarterback.
We'll get to him.
So I mean, those are. I know that it's not always perfect, but at the end of the day, they win.
Yeah.
And I think that is a good
And
thing.
I mean, here's why we're concerned. Repeat that performance against San Diego State and they lose. Like, I don't think anyone's arguing that. Yeah, it does have to get. It was not a great game offensively. But I guess my point is, like you said, Jay, like we've also seen this, we've also seen this, offense put up some big numbers and some big points. I don't think this has been a season-long problem where the offense can't move the ball and can't score. So
yeah,
I guess that's why I'm not – the defense was the bigger issue for me, and now that they're starting to turn it around, that actually gives me more positive thoughts, I guess, about the possibility here moving forward.
I'll say this. Penalties in their two losses have really harmed them. And that was a game where they didn't commit very many penalties at Nevada. And you look at Nevada's penalty total, and it was much higher than Boise State. So there were some things I believe, especially in that department, where the last couple of games, Boise State has cleaned that up. They've done a better job. Haven't been perfect, but I think that they've done a pretty good job in that area. And I don't know, a 21-point road win, man. I get. Does it look different, really? If it's 24-3 versus 42-21?
That's my point. Yeah, if the offense scored some more points, it was or 45-24. Everybody would be saying, "Oh, the defense gave up 24 points to Nevada."
What's the perfect score? I guess 35-14 would have been the perfect score. There we go. That would have been the perfect. They covered.
I mean, no, and a lot of things I saw was like, no, it should have been 42-3. It should have been, even a bigger margin, I guess, in terms of what it was. And I get the criticism of the offense. I'm not sugarcoating it. Chris Marshall had some drops. Like Maddox Madsen missed some wide open receivers. Like, I'm not trying to just say like that the offense played great. They did not. I mean, I think I counted during the game 8 plays from inside the 5-yard line. And I think it was Sire Gaines had 8 runs for like 3 yards or something inside the 5. But I'm not giving the offense a quote free pass or whatever. If you want to be upset about the offense, that is 100% fine. And if you want to say, man, if they play like that, they're going to get crushed at San Diego State. If you want to say that, like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying you can say that, but also say, man, it feels nice to get a 21-point win with that happening. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the defense balled out and that's an encouraging sign moving forward. I think both can be true.
I think that you also have, a couple of coaches over on Nevada's staff that knows Boise State really well.
Yes.
And I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know these things or whatever, but all I know is that there are a few times on screenplays that Boise State's been pretty successful at this year. They sniffed those things out quickly. There was one to Dylan, one to Matt, maybe another to Malik Sherrod. Like, they got virtually nothing on them, and Nevada was able to sneak those things out really quickly. And I mean, there was even one where they brought the defensive end from the opposite side of basically the formation, and Malik's running a screen to the other side of the field. And I don't know, that guy read that play about as well as humanly possible. And if he doesn't, that thing's out the gate. So there were little moments
their Super
like
Bowl,
that.
man. We talked about it. This was Jeff Choate's. Like, this was the game him and Kane Ione, all these guys. Like, this was the game they had circled. Boise State, as you said, had travel issues, a short week on the road, conference play with some way bigger games coming forward, and you still won by 21 points. Like I said, I bring back last year, Wyoming. You're losing in the fourth quarter, and you come back and win. So Nevada last year at home, you only won by 7, as Jay pointed out. You only scored 31 in that game. Like, it's happened very recently where you didn't play great. You still found a way to win. You moved on to the next game, and you're still able to. I mean, they don't take away points, Jay, when it comes to the Mountain West Championship race because you didn't cover the spread or you didn't win by a certain amount. And if anybody actually thinks that the playoff committee, first of all, it's still a 5% chance we can get to that. A lot still has to happen. But if that does happen, you have a 3-loss Navy or whoever it would end up being, and Boise State sitting there, there is 0.0% chance. And they're going, well, they only beat Nevada by 21. We can't put them in. They don't care one bit about that.
And one thing I'll add to it too.
I'm sorry, it's
agree.
just fact. All these people go, oh, we went from 4-0 in the polls. We did lose. It did hurt us in the polls. No, there was so much chaos down there that other teams deserve to be winning. Nobody said, oh, Boise State only won by 21. The two guys that voted for him, I think 24th or whatever, weren't just penalizing them. There were some other crazy upsets and things. Memphis beating South Florida. Teams had to get
even like the University of Washington, which pains me a little bit to say it, being a Washington State alumnus. But even look at them. I mean, they hammered 23rd ranked Illinois last weekend, and they obviously were deserving of some more votes when they weren't in the top 25 last week, right? So, like, I mean, I was an AP voter. I really do think it's laughable to make anything out of having 4 points. That might not even be 4 votes, by the way. I didn't go back and look, but it probably was 4 votes. But we're talking 4 points in the AP top 25 to 0. That's like nothing. It really is. I mean, that's somebody that's a couple voters splitting hairs on the back end of it that just goes, you know what, Boise State's got their brand. I'm going to put them in my 25th spot. And then there was some chaos in college football this week, and they changed their mind and they thought that maybe a UW or somebody else was just more deserving of being in one of those final spots. And it is what it is. Like, that's like,
yeah.
If they went from 100 points to 0, yeah, I would say interesting. That's an interesting trend. But to go from literally 4 points to 0 is virtually nothing.
And
nothing.
Maybe this is the spot everybody's waiting for, Jay. They're gonna be so happy now. Let's talk about Maddox Madsen, because he didn't play great. And again, I'm not making excuses for him when we come on here and it sounds like that's all that we're doing here on this show, and it really isn't. But I mean, Spencer Danielson himself said that he is banged up, beat up, wearing braces and everything else. Like, there's a lot going on that fans never really know about. And I get it right away. It is, well, then why is he playing? It was a 1-16. Play the backup and let him heal. I already saw somebody say that in the chat. Like, I guess if you want to say that, is he hurting the team by playing hurt? I mean, I think that's I guess at least if your coach is going to say he's banged up and hurt and he's not playing well, I guess I could at least listen to that argument. If people want to throw that out there, then but obviously the answer is the coaches still feel like even a less than 100% Maddox Madsen, Jay, is better than, no disrespect, a 100% Max Cutforth right now. And so you're on the road in conference play. You've got your starting quarterback that has proven that he's, the guy that is the quarterback of this team. And if he is at all able to get out there and play, that's the guy that should be out there. And so I do like I said, I will at least let folks say that and not say they're 100% crazy. Like that's a fair point to bring up. But the answer is the coaches feel that even a less than 100% Maddox Madsen is still their best option. And at this point, you have to trust him for that.
Do you know what happens if your starting quarterback probably can go and you put in the backup and you lose this type of game? How do you think that would look? How do you think that would be received? No, I got confidence in Max Cutford. That's nothing against him. If we're just going to live in the world of hypotheticals, why can't we consider that one?
And I think he's probably good enough, and Nevada's probably not good enough. And just looking at what Maddox Madsen did in that game, like Max Cutforth probably could have done something similar in that game, to be honest.
I agree,
and they probably could have won.
Like also, Maddox Madsen delivered. I know that it wasn't great. He also delivered a couple of big-time third-down throws in that contest.
He did,
and a number of them on their touchdown drives, for that matter. And
there were some drops.
There were some drops for sure. He rolled out a lot in that game, especially to his left, which I thought was interesting.
Very odd to me.
I don't think that's like, I don't know. We can ask that question today at the press conference and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, maybe the whole thing wasn't great, but there were some moments in there where he did deliver a couple of pretty big time throws, and
he scrambled, I think, on a fourth down for a big first down.
That was on their final touchdown drive. So there were some moments in there, and like I said, I don't know, maybe we're giving it the storyline too much time. I don't know, BJ. It was a 3 touchdown victory at the end of the day, and they do have room to grow. But all that I know is that you and I were both at South Florida, and we were both in South Bend, and winning by 3 touchdowns is a whole hell of a lot better than losing by 3 touchdowns. So
no doubt.
I don't know. I think that it wasn't perfect, but to think that this is the end of the world because they only won by 3 touchdowns on the road.
Yeah, I almost feel sorry for some. I almost feel sorry. Like, enjoy it.
Like,
you only get 12 Saturdays a year.
You know what? And I don't know what it is, BJ. And it really, like, this probably is dumb, but whatever. I don't care. Maybe it's because every day that I walk into work now, I do get a quick glimpse of the blue before I take that right turn and come to my office. And for whatever reason, maybe it's because I do work every day here now, and I only get to watch 6 or 7 football games in that venue, and then we go on the road for a half dozen or so more. But like, it really is a little wild to me how few opportunities there are to get to enjoy a game day, and how so many times like you could be a person that chooses just straight up negativity. And that kind of, like I said, it's even changed my perspective since being here. I'm not saying you have to treat the game like they just won the Fiesta Bowl on Friday, but man, I think that's a win. Also, I was going to bring this up because you were talking about a number of the circumstances of that game. Let's also not forget, like, we're at the end of October, about to tip into November here. This is their longest stretch of football this season, meaning between bye weeks, if you will, right? Like, they're about to play their 7th game in a row without a bye against Fresno State. So this is where injuries and all those things, you start to feel that stuff. And I know, like, hey, Ben Ford has been a model of consistency for that offense. And if you thought that they could just go in and replace him with whoever, like, this shows that also Ben Ford had tremendous value to the team, and they're going to be okay in that area. I do believe they'll have guys that can step up, but I mean, they didn't have their guy that was their second leading receiver on their team, the guy that led the team in touchdown receptions this year, right? So, Chase Penry, why don't we bring him up? Like, Chase Penry had some big catches in that game, and he hasn't had a lot of opportunities this season. And no, his stat line wasn't huge, but the catches he made were huge in that game, just given kind of the scenarios of each drive or whatever it might have been. So, I don't know. I'm more of a glass half full guy, but I'm not.
Adam Freeland misses Dirk Cutter giving us blunt answers on Monday. The object is to win the game.
For real. And the funny thing is, the way Dirk would say it, you would just go, can't really argue with that.
Yeah. But there are, like I said, some of the drops have to get cleaned up. Maddox Madsen has to play a little better. Like when you go on the road to San Diego State, it has to be better. I don't think anyone's denying that, Jay. The defense bailed them out by having 5 takeaways, and if there was only 2 takeaways, it could have been a completely different ballgame. The offense has to get better. I don't think we're not sugarcoating or ignoring that.
The offense has to bounce back.
That's what I would say. Be better than it was in that game, which it already has proven and shown it can do.
Yeah, because they're coming back to the blue where they are averaging well over 40 points per game on the blue this season.
And I don't think people are at all worried about Fresno State. They're 17-point favorites again. I think the game everyone's looking for already is the San Diego State game on the 15th.
Which all of a sudden you think about the where the bye falls for this football team, and you're like, wow, that actually ended up being more convenient than I originally thought.
Yeah, get a bye week, get some players healthy probably before that game, but yes, and that's why because the offense has shown it, they have proven it, and people want to say, oh, the road games. Well, 2 of your road games were Notre Dame and South Florida, so I guess just to lump in all the road games together, and it really does feel like I'm, on Spencer's payroll today. I mean, I'm really not trying to I
don't really think you need to say that. Like, I really don't. Like, I understand like trying to be dismissive and stuff, but you've watched a lot of football. You've covered this team for over a decade. We have seen what can happen at UTEP. We have seen I was here in 15 on the blue when New Mexico came in here out of nowhere. And
30-point underdogs.
Yeah, and won. Like, winning is still better than losing, especially when you win by 3 touchdowns. So I really don't think like there's a ton to be dismissive of. It's as simple as they need to play their best offensive game of the year. They need to be better against Fresno State, and they certainly need to be better against San Diego State. But why do we just write it off now? Is because they scored 24 points against Nevada. It means that those games are going to go bad. Like if you want to believe that, then let's put it down and we'll revisit that comment after those games.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And like I said, last point on this before we do move on. We were doing our post-game interviews, Jay, right next to like where the players were getting ice and things after the game, like for the training room, and obviously not going to get specific with certain players. There's probably rules against that, laws against that. I'm not dumb, but all I will say is that there were multiple guys, Jay, that walked by us with boots on their feet and ice on their shoulders and knees. And you mentioned the 7 games in a row and these guys are banged up. And I know it's like that a lot after every game, but there's a lot of guys that nobody knows anything about that are pushing, whether it's offensive linemen, whether it's, the quarterback. Like I said, you've got a lot of guys that are battling through a lot of stuff, and I'm not making that okay. You're out there playing, like, yes, you have to produce or you shouldn't play.
Guys on their starting defense. Braxton Feely added a cowboy collar about a month ago. Jaden Virgin Morgan's now wearing a cowboy collar. Marco Notriani's wearing a cowboy collar. Like, they're not doing this stuff to look cool, guy. I mean, it looks cool, don't get me wrong, but they're not just doing this stuff to look cool. They're doing it so that they can put themselves in a position to play. Like, they're banged up, they're sore. I mean, look, Mason Randolph in that game had to be helped off the field. Like when he got helped off the field,
I thought there was no chance he was coming back.
Oh, no chance. Like the manner in which he was being helped off. I mean, he even took a second to like readjust so he could get his arms around 2 guys to get him off the field. And then a few drives later, there's Mason Randolph. So I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking that was a thought he was coming back in. And then at one point I go, wait, that's 63. I was like, what?
Yep. Yeah.
And he's one of probably 10 guys that are willing themselves back out there in part of that game. And so I get it. If the negative fan wants to say, well, if they're injured and they're less than 100% and they're hurting the team, put a guy out there that's 100%. If you want to go that argument, but I would say trust the coaches that even your starters at less than 100% are better in their eyes than whoever's next.
Let me ask you this, BJ. Do you remember how there's a nice little stretch there where Boise State had a lot of trouble getting interceptions? Big storyline. I can't get a turnover.
Pass defense. Demario Warren needs to be gone.
You know who's top 10 in the country in interceptions at the moment?
Wouldn't be Boise State, would it?
Boise State. I mean, I don't know. We lost the energy of they can't get an interception. Now they finally get interceptions. And it's like, well, the offense sucks. What?
Yep.
Why do we only clean?
They ignore what's going good and just want to point to the negative stuff.
I don't know. Like I said, it's as simple as this. Game wasn't perfect. They could play it better. But you know what's awesome. It's awesome when you cannot play very good and win by 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Imagine how Nevada fans feel. Like, I don't know about you. I spent most of the night feeling sorrow for that program. Like, that's an uphill battle there, and they got people that kick dudes. And despite all the effort they've poured into this thing, they haven't won a Mountain West game since Choate took over. Like, I don't know. I don't know. That can't be. That's not lost on me.
No.
Mostly
Like
my alma mater, man. I've experienced some highs.
How about Fresno State last week
All
at
the
home?
lows, all the lows.
Fresno State getting shut out at home last week to San Diego State. Like, as I mentioned, 53 teams lost and are not having the same conversation on Monday morning. Jay, you mentioned the defense. Like, they deserve some credit, man.
Yeah.
I know that offense is not good at Nevada, but this is not a one-game thing here. This has gone back a couple of weeks now, 3-4 weeks, and whether you want to say it coincides with Chenander going on the field and not give any credit to DeMario Warren, like, I've seen that argument out there. Like, but you look at what they're doing right now. This secondary, the interceptions, the takeaways, it's been pretty impressive, man. This defense, which we're a month ago on this show, people are wanting coaches fired and players benched and all this stuff, and you look at how it's turned around here in a big way these last couple of games. That's one of the reasons why I am encouraged going down the stretch here for a game like San Diego State, because this defense looks like a completely different defense in terms of in terms of what the defense has done. And as BMel33 says, I love drinking half a beer, looking down and saying, wow, I still have half a beer. It's okay to be optimistic occasionally.
I don't know. We have the glass half full analogy all the time, and I don't know if I've ever, been drinking a beer and looked down and really thought I got half a beer left. But I'm gonna use that next time. The
defense, Jay, you mentioned top 10 in interceptions in the country. Let's let that sink in for a second. They've been phenomenal. If they can keep that up down the stretch, that's a lot of reasons to be encouraged.
Number 1 in the Mountain West, top 10 in the country, and it's you have to go back to, I think, 2022, last time they led the Mountain West in interceptions. If you want to talk about like a real dominant team that was the outright leader in interceptions, you probably got, I bet you, like, you got to go back to like 15 probably with the Dante Dion and Darian Thompson days and things like that. But it's 4 interceptions in a season for a player is, that's a big number, let alone to do it in a 5-game stretch. So with what Amarion McCoy's doing right now, that's pretty impressive. He's tied for 3rd in interceptions himself as an individual, and only 1 off the nation's lead. So he's playing some pretty good ball right now when it comes to that. And I don't know. I think anytime you go on the road and you allow 3 points to the opponent, there's a lot of positives to be found.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Jay. Final thing, and we'll let you roll here. I know you got your show coming up today.
Yeah.
But just now back on the blue, Fresno State, the stretch run here. Just what's your kind of big picture take? A lot still has to happen. But certainly in my eyes, South Florida losing to Memphis was a result that did, at least go from 1% chance to 2% chance or whatever. I mean, that was probably one you needed. A lot still has to happen. Remember, only the conference champion is eligible for that spot, and there's tiebreakers and things that could have, 3 losses maybe in the championship game or whatever. I mean, there's a lot still that has to happen, but what's your kind of just big picture take? 6-2, 4-0 in the Mountain West here.
First off, since the year 2000, Boise State has allowed 3 points or less in a road game twice. The other time was in 2021 at Utah State. So since Kellen Moore walked off campus, they've allowed 3 points or fewer in a road game just twice, and one of them happened last Friday. So just to bring that up. But I think that when you look at the college football playoff picture, a lot still has to happen. But there were 2 pretty big dominoes to fall, in my opinion, these last 2 weeks. And one of them was UAB beating Memphis, and then Memphis turning around and beating South Florida. And right now, if the season ended today, South Florida wouldn't even be in the American Conference Championship game. And as you pointed out, BJ, you also have to win that conference championship game to be eligible to go to the college football playoff. So I don't know. You look at what's left in the American Conference, and I know Navy's got a pretty daunting schedule. South Florida's schedule, I believe, gets a lot easier here on out. But Navy's probably the next one to keep an eye on. They still have to go to Notre Dame as well. They have a pretty challenging schedule. Tulane's another one to keep an eye on. But any of those teams suffering a loss would certainly be beneficial for Boise State. And then I think like right now, like I said, it's a pretty realistic scenario because now Memphis has the head-to-head against South Florida as well. but if Memphis were to make the American Championship game and win that thing, you're dealing with a 2-loss Memphis team versus a Boise State team that actually Memphis, that would only be 1 loss for them. So I guess Memphis needs to lose another game. But either way,
but they would have a worse loss.
That UAB loss is pretty damning for Memphis. And so I don't know. There's still a lot of football to be played, and we'll see how it plays out from here. But the percentage might not be great, but it's not zero. And as long as that's the case, I think you just continue to root for 21-point road wins. Apparently, for chaos in the American to continue to ensue.
Now, Memphis does have to play Tulane and Navy still, but both those games are at home, so they at least get both those games at home. But there is another opportunity out there potentially for a loss.
I feel like Tulane's another one that to keep a pretty close eye on, because that's another one that if you have a 1-loss Memphis and a 1-loss Tulane somehow in the conference title game, that would be a tricky scenario. It probably means that you barely get edged out for a college football playoff spot if you're Boise State.
Well, Jay, I'm going to give away, after a week of saying it was coming the next day, I'm finally ready to give away our $500 gift card to Shields. And so we're going to do that here in a minute. But I know.
Is there still time?
What do we yeah, there is. Get a voicemail in. Everyone's eligible. So we are going to give away the Shields gift card. We're going to play some voicemails today. We had like 7 more voicemails come in, but I didn't want to. I'll play those here in a little bit. Didn't want to waste your time on that. But what is on the docket for today's Bronco Studios that I'm keeping you from getting ready for?
You kind of got it right there. Like it's crossover season, so some hoops. The Boise State soccer team just wrapped up a Mountain West regular season title, and now they get to host the conference championships in a little over a week. Obviously, Boise State back on the blue and reacting to that. The one only Bob Beeler will be back in the house for a little Q&A with myself.
Can't miss Mondays with Bob there on Bronco Studios.
So we'll have some fun today.
All right, 4 o'clock. Make sure you're watching live. 4 o'clock, Bronco Studios, the Boise State Athletics YouTube channel. If you can't watch it live, you can go back and it'll be archived there, kind of like our shows are. So 4 o'clock today. Make sure you're watching Jay on Bronco Studios. Jay, appreciate your time, man. Thanks a lot. All right, there he is, Jay Tust. I kept him longer than I said I would too. So he's busy on a Monday, folks. So make sure you check out Bronco Studios and nice enough for Jay to give us his time. All right, we got some voicemails we want to play. We're going to give away that wheel, but I do want to thank a couple of great sponsors. Includes rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. All your painting needs, make sure you hit up Andy Rowe and rowpaint.com. Whether it's concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, all your painting needs, rowpaint.com. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile eBranch online banking right there in your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union back in line as a official partner of Boise State Athletics. Make the switch today, ICCU.com. TacoBellWorks.com, the website for the S-Zone Management Group, the Nicolason family, Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. Perfect time to get some Taco Bell, whether it's the chicken and steak street chalupas, the $3 Chipotle Ranch grilled steak burrito, maybe it's the crispy chicken strips or the Mountain Dew Baja Midnight Freeze. Visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. Hey, Jackson still has those trading cards, $12.99. You can get them at Jackson's. 1 in 10 has a chance for an autographed card. You can also get that 99-cent coffee anytime, day or night, using your Let's Go Rewards app. Jackson's, sponsor of the Riley and Ridge Show and our post-game show. Make sure you join us tomorrow night for the Riley and Ridge Show, presented by Jackson's on Bronco Nation News. Hey, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorange.store.com. They've got all the gear, game day gear, those customizable jerseys. Get a player on the back. Get your Boise Town Square Mall, and of course, anywhere in the world, you can order Boise State gear at theblueandorangestore.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, their fall kickoff sale underway at Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out at Lithia Ford of Boise at lithiafordboise.com. We appreciate their support. Never a better time to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle at Lithia Ford of Boise. And Lithia Ford of Boise, the sponsor of our pregame show. I played it earlier in the show, but I'll play it one more time. Lithia Ford of Boise, the pregame show. If you came on late and missed this or didn't get a chance to catch the pregame show, this was during my interview with
Teams losing. Oh, jeez. Woo! Teams losing. Oh, shit. Teams losing. Oh, shit. Teams losing. Oh, jeez. Woo! Yeah. You could have given us a warning. Yes. We got bloopers. BJ, we've lost BJ, so I'm doing the show. Oh, there he is.
Wow, that was
oh God.
they just shot the cannon off from about 10 feet away right there.
I don't remember what I was saying.
You were talking about the playoff.
Yeah.
That was on the pregame show, the cannon going off. Thanks to Nevada for that. But yeah, Jeremiah Dickey and I survived. But we're back and ready to go. Folks are saying the internet's a little slow today. I have no idea what's going on. I apologize for that. I just took myself off my actual microphone, and I'm just using the Mac microphone today. I'm plugged into the Ethernet like I usually am at my house, so apologize. Don't know the issue today. If the internet is a little choppy, and yeah, maybe an internet sponsor would help. We have literally the fastest internet they make. So you know what? Sorry, folks. You pay to rent the Starlink, and it goes out for a little bit. You pay to do this, and it just doesn't seem to work. So don't know the issue on the internet. It's just as frustrating for me. I don't have anything saying there's an issue on the signal. We get a 1, 2, or 3 bars on the Starlink, and it says I have all perfect three bars. So I have no idea what the issue is, and I apologize for that. But I can assure you that we pay for high-speed internet. I'm plugged into the Ethernet port like I usually am, so not sure what's going on, and apologize for that. All right, we got some voicemails that I do want to play. Signature Roofing is the sponsor of the voicemails. Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, go to mysignatureroofing.com. They are giving away a $500 gift card to Shields. We're going to do that on the show today, and we have some voicemails that came in here. Let's take a listen to some of the voicemails, and we'll react to them. First up is, let's go Tyson from Lewiston. Tyson from Lewiston, what do you got?
BJ, Tyson from Lewiston here again. It's Sunday. I'm just listening to ball talk. They're talking about Chris Marshall needs the ball more. Chris Marshall needs to catch the ball more. I'm looking at his stats. He's got 2 receptions on 6 targets. I know for a fact 2 of those incompletions were drops. One of them he didn't even try to catch and caused an interception. And now that I think about it, I believe the 3rd or the 4th incompletion would have been the one that he kind of lollygagged one hand up there and popped it up in the air, almost causing another interception. This team's success is coming up is really going to be based on whether Chris Marshall can execute, because he looks to be our only true wide receiver. Not to take anything away from Cam Bates. He's had some good flashes, but without Ben Ford out there, I know Caples is pretty good, but I wouldn't say he's anything special. We got to have Chris Marshall step up if this team wants to achieve any higher expectations that we have. That's all I got. Have a good Sunday.
Thanks, Tyson. Appreciate it. Can't disagree with anything that Tyson from Lewiston said there. Chris Marshall did have a couple bad drops. The interception, yeah, I don't know if there was a miscommunication there, if the throw was off or what, but obviously he didn't try to go back and make much of that. So that I agree. Chris Marshall, that wasn't his best game. No doubt about it. Finished with 2 catches for 27 yards. He's a game-changing player. I mean, he's averaging 19.5 yards per reception. He is a game-changing player when the ball is in his hands. He's at 467 receiving yards. I mean, he's got a chance at a 1,000-yard season here if he keeps it up. But certainly that probably wasn't his best game of the season. So need Chris Marshall to be consistent. Need Chris Marshall to step up today. I was curious if he got benched or what the reason was. Didn't seem like he went through, didn't seem like he played as much in the second half. So I am curious about that. But I do agree. You need to find a way to get Chris Marshall the ball as much as possible. But when you try and he drops the ball, again, if a couple of those catches go for 50-yard touchdowns that he dropped or they get more yards, I mean, the narrative around Maddox Madsen in that game could have been different as well. So Chris Marshall, heck of a player, tremendous player, didn't have his best game, and he'd probably tell you that as well. All right, let's hear from the Tequila Gus. What do you got, Tequila?
Hey, BJ. Quite the kerfuffle in the Twitterverse this weekend. You calling out fans, JD calling out fans, Prater calling some dipshites. Look, you can count me in with the frustrated fans on how our offense performed. If they played a 6-1 team versus a 1-6 team, the outcome could have been a lot different. Add that they had their 2010 team there, and any BSU fan worth their salt would want nothing less than that famous Conan the Barbarian quote. What is life? To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of the women. Even though I was frustrated, and I think there is plenty of room to be reasonable, we didn't get a USF game. What we got was a W. It's like when you're at the beach and you order a mango margarita, but the waiter brings you a dirty banana. I hate dirty bananas. I hate them. And getting that temporarily ruined my experience. But hey, I'm still at the beach, so let's enjoy it.
All right, Tequila Gus, appreciate the call. By the way, this person's talking about my internet here. Let me know where I do this at. I have no idea what you're talking about here. So if you can give me more information on where I do this, or if you want to send me an email, Rains, RAINS at BroncoNationNews.com. I'm happy to try to fix whatever needs to be fixed on the internet here, because I have no idea what you're talking about there. We've talked a lot about that, so I'm not. I didn't really call out fans. I don't know whether I didn't necessarily agree with some of them, but I don't think I was calling out the fans. So I disagree with that part of it, Tequila. But Mike Prater, yeah, I loved it. I loved Mike Prater's response. Somebody was saying the media, why does the media never ask about tackling and trying to take shots at the media? And Prater's like, well, dip bleep, we ask him every week at practice, or every week, in the press conference, sometimes multiple times a week about tackling. So it's one thing if folks want to, that's this other narrative. The media is afraid to ask tough questions because they'll get their credentials revoked and all this stuff. Like, that's just not true. That's just not how it works. And I can 100% promise you that it is much easier to ask Spencer Danielson negative questions than it was Brian Harsin or Andy Avalos. So the media is not afraid to ask Spencer Danielson tough questions. I frankly think we ask tough questions when needed. And we ask about tackling literally multiple times every single press conference. So for someone to come on there and say, oh, the media doesn't ask about tackling, it'd be nice if they do it for once. Then Prater's like, you're taking a shot at us, I'll fire back, and called the guy a dip ass and said that they ask it every week. So I actually kind of didn't mind that. So I thought it was a good response from Prater. I mean, some people said, oh, he's taking a shot at fans or he crossed the line, whatever. Like, you want to call us out for something that's factually inaccurate. Prater fought back. So I had no problem with what he said, and I didn't mind it at all. So if you have criticism, that's one thing. But when your criticism is just flat out wrong, media members have to fight back a little bit and defend ourselves. So let's hear what Jake has to say. What do you got, Jake?
Hey, BJ, Jake here. Question for you guys. Does it make any sense over the course of these next few games, which the Broncos should win handily, does it make any sense to maybe play our number 2 quarterback a little bit more often, give him a little bit of experience for this year, and hopefully that'll be beneficial to the team next year? Thanks for your thoughts.
All right, good comment there from Jake. And this kind of also goes back to whether or not Maddox Madsen is playing injured, as Spencer Danielson alluded to, that he's banged up, beat up. And I guess does 100% Max Cutforth make more sense than a limited Maddox Madsen? I love you, Jake, but disagree a little bit about the games moving forward here. I mean, I guess the home game at Fresno State, maybe you get a bigger lead and get him out. But I mean, San Diego State in 2 weeks is the toughest game left on your schedule. I'm not sure you're going to beat them handedly at this point. I'm not even sure you're a touchdown favorite in that game right now. So I think that's certainly going to be a tough game. Maybe against Fresno, you try to get a lead, get Maddox out of there, give him some extra rest, and then you have the bye week as well. If Maddox Madsen is healthy enough to play, he needs to play. And if you want to talk about next year and bringing in another quarterback to compete and all that, I'll hear that argument all day. That's fine. Yeah, bring in somebody, compete with him. Sure. We said all summer, all spring, they should have brought somebody else in. Like, that's another thing where the media gets like, I was saying all along, like, I'm surprised they're not bringing in somebody else for some more depth in case he gets hurt, or bringing in another guy. And they obviously either couldn't get one or decided they didn't need to. So I think that's a whole different kind of topic. But I don't think you just throw Max Cutforth in there just to get him ready to compete for next year or something. I just don't see that happening right now. But again, health certainly could change a lot of those arguments there. Appreciate the call, Jake. Jake F. with the call there. All right, let's hear from Bob Schuler. What do you got, Bob?
Hey, BJ. Bob Schuler. Comment on the Nevada game. Some teams will always be tough to beat. I think Nevada's always going to be that way. And on top of that, you have the choke aspect. A win is a win. I thought defense looked great. Yes, offense still inconsistent, but winning by 21 on the road is not a disgrace. Go Broncos.
Not a disgrace. Agree. Yeah, you had some weird there were some weird takes, like Bronco Blameyer just kept getting into it with Jeremiah Dickey, and I don't know what was going on there. I mean, it was just continuing back and forth. Like, if I'm Jeremiah, why am I dealing with Bronco Blameyer for the fifth tweet? Like, just leave it, let it go. I love Jeremiah. He does a great job interacting with fans and things, but it's a no-win situation with some of these fans. And I get it. Fans, like, you want the team to be perfect. You want to win by 40. You want the offense to be better. If it's not, you're going to lose to San Diego State. Like, you want everything to be perfect. I'm right there with you. I agree. I just think sometimes you got to remember it. Every game doesn't go perfect, and at least be happy you still won the game and move on. That's kind of my take on that. All right. What do you got, Bill? Let's go to BSU. Bill, man, what do you got for us?
Hey, BJ, Bill here. Want to give some thoughts on the game last week and looking forward. I think an under-talked about issue with this team right now is the O-line play in the run game. We look shaky at best against New Mexico. We did fine against UNLV, but everybody does fine against UNLV. It's one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. And then this week against Nevada, we got dominated, I thought, for a good portion of the game. I mean, people going after Nate Potter for those goal line plays. I mean, I disagree. When you're first and goal on the 1 yard line, you're Boise State versus Nevada, you should be able to punch one of the three in just running up the middle, right? Or, just some standard dive play. So I think the O-line play has been very inconsistent in the run game. And, not to fully defend Matt Madsen, but that makes quarterbacking harder. When you're getting 2 yards to carry, the run game isn't there, that can impact the way the defense plays you. So all that to be said, though, I think Madsen, my stance on him is the same heading into next year. The staff has to bring somebody in to compete, at least make it look like a competition. Because I just remain to be, I remain to think Madsen has taken this job by the horns and, shedded any sort of doubt heading into next year that he's the best guy for the job. Spencer loves to talk about how nice of a guy he is, and that's great. But I mean, being a good person and a good leader doesn't just absolve you from any sort of competition, right? So I think it's going to be still is the most interesting storyline to watch heading into next year, because if Spencer does not bring in a quarterback to compete, I think it'll be the first time in his tenure here that he's really could piss off a lot of the fan base, which they probably don't care about. But anyway, those are my thoughts. So yeah.
Appreciate it, Bill. Great call. And I know you're watching the show now, so appreciate it. And can't disagree with a lot of what you said. I mean, you have first and goal at the 1 yard line or whatever it was, and you can't score until fourth down. That certainly is, could you maybe at some point try that bootleg that they used against Notre Dame, or maybe try something different? Yes, you could. But also, like, you can't get 1 yard with Sire Gaines from the 1 yard line 3 plays in a row. Like, that's not necessarily a Nate Potter issue at that point. So they eventually switched it up, got the quarterback keeper with Madsen. They got super lucky. Actually, there was a penalty. They would have had to, they got stopped on fourth down, 4 straight runs, I believe, by Gaines. This was Boise State inside the 5. Gaines went for no gain, Gaines for 1 yard, Gaines for no gain. They had to kick a field goal. So 3 carries, 1 yard led to a field goal inside the 5 for Sire Gaines. They got inside the 5 again. No gain for Gaines, and then a 2-yard touchdown run for Gaines. Third time inside the 5, Gaines for no gain, Gaines for no gain, Gaines for no gain on 4th down. Got lucky there was a penalty, and then Madsen 1-yard run. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yards where 6 times, 6 plays at the goal line where Sire Gaines couldn't even get 1 yard. That's pretty incredible to me. So if you want to put that on Nate Potter, if you want to put that on, whoever, I think that, that at some point, the O-line has to be able to get pushed so you can get 1 yard from Sire Gaines. I mean, maybe after the 7th time you switch up the play call a little bit. I understand that, but I think that's big boy football. You're at the 1 yard line. You have to be able to put it in and score. And so the offensive line, and I'm not an offensive line guy. We'll have to ask Brad Bedell, about that, moving forward. So, but your Sire Gaines, your back that everybody talked about coming into the season gets, 6 chances for no gain, 6 runs inside the 5 for no gain. That's the run. That's no push from the offensive line, not getting any kind of can't find a way to get 1 yard. That's just not ideal. So I don't know who deserves the blame there. We can maybe ask about it at the press conference today, but certainly that is a very good point. And on Madsen, we said it all winter and spring. Are they going to bring somebody in for depth and maybe not necessarily compete with him? Because I think after last year, what he had done, you get your team to the college football playoff. Like, there's no doubt he should have been the starter coming into the season. Anyone that, it's revisionist history now. I mean, could they have brought somebody in to at least provide more depth, maybe compete a little bit? Again, I don't know what quarterbacks, unless you're overpaying for them in the portal, are going to come in and know that the guy that's coming back started the CFP game the year before. So I don't think it was super easy for them to bring somebody in last year that knew they were going to be the backup. This year, if you want to argue that Maddox Madsen has regressed a little bit, isn't putting up some of the numbers or stats that you thought he would based on last year, like, I'll listen to that argument. And if you think they need to go get somebody and bring them in, like, I think that's a fair thing to try to do. But again, it's a 2-year, multi-year starter. Not a lot of guys are going to be clamoring to come here and be his backup, and even if they tell him you're going to compete, how many believe that? I don't know. So I think they're in a kind of a tough spot because I don't know if you're going to be able to find a quarterback that's good enough, that's better than him, that's going to come here and know that he's been the guy the last couple of years. So that certainly is a tough spot that they're going to be in moving forward. No doubt about it. But great call, Bill. All right, let's go to Jesse. Jesse, what do you got for us, man?
Hey, BJ, it's Jesse here again, and I just have my question isn't about Boise State football per se. It's about the coaching carousel. We're seeing all these firings going on around college football, like LSU just firing Brian Kelly this weekend. There's 3 big programs that have head coach openings: Penn State, LSU, Florida, and I guess you could count Arkansas, but they're like the mid-tier, maybe lower-tier SEC, so they're not going to have as a big of a coaching hire as those schools will probably go out and get. But do you think maybe we're going to see a massive shakeup in the coaching realm, especially with Group of 5 schools? Like, I know Spencer Danielson might not leave from Boise State, but would you see like a Dan Mullen leaving UNLV? USS head coach is more likely gone. Memphis's head coach is probably gone. North Texas's coach might be leaving as well to replace one of those programs. You just might see a massive shakeup in the college football coaching carousel this off season. I just was wondering if you agreed with me on that. And then we might even lose Coach Chin, to be honest with you. It's a pretty solid, he's a pretty solid coach. And if another program picks him up, it wouldn't, like I said, BJ, it wouldn't surprise me if Coach Chin is gone as well. He's a solid coach for Boise State. His defense has been playing lights out the past 2 seasons. He's definitely probably pretty hot on everybody's list to get as a head coach, at least move up to like USF or, up to Memphis or one of those programs to replace the other head coaches that are going to probably leave to the bigger programs. you could see Brian Kelly maybe moving down into maybe, going the Pac-12 way if all these coaches that got fired from the SEC and Penn State. I know it's crazy, but what if they all moved to the Pac-12 and took over programs that were firing their coaches? So, there's going to be a massive shakeup in the college football carousel world. And if Jim does leave, my question is, do you think that Coach Mai would be the one that would replace him as the next defensive coordinator? Is that why they maybe brought him in to learn under Coach Chin, so that if he does leave, that they could go his route and make him the defensive coordinator? Just your thoughts on all of this and going on. And, I'm still happy that we won this game against Nevada, and I don't care how we won it.
There you go, Jesse. Appreciate the back-to-back voicemails there. Yeah, it's obviously going to be a crazy coaching carousel, a lot of movement. But I don't know if Eric Shenander had some opportunities to leave after this past season and stayed and signed a new deal. So I don't know. I don't know if that's something that would be on the table or not. I don't know if he's wanting to be a head coach someday and if he's ready for that too. I have no idea. So how the coaching carousel impacts the assistant coaches, certainly worth monitoring. I'll tell you, it's extremely rare, like almost unheard of, to not lose a single full-time coach. And obviously Dirk Cutter retired from last year's team, but they didn't lose another single full-time coach. They all came back and most of them got new deals. Is that going to happen again? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, maybe they just all love working for Spencer so much. Maybe they all stay again, but it's pretty rare to not have a single, a single coach leave. And so that is something that, I don't know how that, again, impacts the, how the coaching carousel trickles down, but just in general, hanging on to all your assistant coaches for another year probably is tough. And yeah, we'll see where Brian Kelly ends up. I don't know if he's going Pac-12. I mean, maybe UCLA, but they're not Pac-12 anymore. Yeah, Eric Shenander is certainly doing a nice job, and I'm sure we'll have interest again next season. So appreciate the call there. All right, so we had 20 plus in there. I have the let's see, you got to move this. Let's add this in here. All right, this is our wheelofnames.com. I went on there. It's pretty basic. You guys can try it yourself. wheelofnames.com. And you can just enter names, and then you click the spin. It was a little free thing that I found. And so we had a lot of names, 25, I think, or 23, however many are in there this week. And we kind of extended it because last week's went long. I didn't have a chance to get to the voicemails. Signature Roofing, we appreciate them putting a $500 gift card on the line for Shields. Jen, who's in the chat, I believe, Jen C, was the winner last week and got her gift card via email and went and bought some Boise State gear. So Shields is pretty quick. If you do win this, you can just reach out to me via email, and we'll get you all the information to get you your gift card lickety split. For some reason, if you left me a voicemail, hopefully you all see your name on the list. If for some reason you don't, you got like 20 seconds here to try to let me know, and I can add it in. But I don't see. I went by pretty hard to try to get all the names on the list there, and I think we have them all. And again, Signature Roofing online, mysignatureroofing.com, putting up the $500 gift card to Shields for the best voicemail of the past week and a half, and we're very appreciative of them. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection, you can go online to mysignatureroofing.com. They put a roof on our house, did a tremendous job, great process. I stand by their work. We're happy to be a customer of Signature Roofing, and you guys can do the same. They'll come out for free and give you a BNN discount when it comes to taking care of you on your pricing and everything. So not a fun process to have to shell out new money to get a new roof, but I can promise you that Signature Roofing is going to help you every step of the way to give you the best deal and the best experience that they can. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and spin the wheel. I think it's 20 seconds here or something. We'll see who our winner is going to be. We're watching this together. And wheelofnames.com, again, if you want to go on there and test this and make sure that I'm not finding a way to finagle who wins or whatever. So let's see where we're at. And it looks like it's going to stop on Gavin B. Not familiar with Gavin B. So if you want to send us a email, Gavin B, we will reach out to you. I don't remember your voicemail, which day that was, but congratulations to Gavin B for winning the $500 gift card to Shields. And again, that's courtesy of My Signature Roofing. Now, Gavin, you do have to be a paid subscriber to BNN. That was one of the stipulations I forgot to mention and forgot to make. So we do want to give some value to the $7 a month membership, to the one-time yearly fee. So if for some reason Gavin is not a yearly member to BNN, I'm going to keep these names in the list, and we'll give it away again tomorrow. So for all you guys out there, hopefully Gavin B is. And Gavin, we'll even make you the deal that if you decide to sign up for a year subscription and do the annual one, we'll count that. If you're not a member for signing up, maybe we'll count that. So I'll talk to the Signature Roofing guys. But appreciate all you guys for signing up. Hopefully Gavin is a paid member and can win that gift card to Shields. And we will try to reach out to Gavin and find out who he is and go from there. So appreciate you guys. Spencer Danielson talks at noon. We'll head down and get you the live press conference. Spencer Danielson, Eric Chenander, Nate Potter talking to the media at noon, and we'll stream the press conference here on BroncoNationNews.com. Ridley's Family Markets. Shop Ridley's.com. They got locations across the state of Idaho, surrounding states. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line at Ridley's Family Markets. Transportation Compliance Service. TranscomService.com. You can get into the trucking industry. DOT, overweight, all the permits and things you need. Check them out at Transportation Compliance Service, online at TranscomService.com. And Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley, Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Matt's going to join us later this week. We'll talk some hoops. Bauscher Real Estate. Again, I know everybody has 4 or 5 friends that are realtors in this town, but if you want a team that's going to fight for you every step of the way, that is Bauscher Real Estate. And Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game, thespateam.com. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. If you're looking for a sauna, hot tub, spa, pool table, they got you covered. That is Snake River Pool and Spa, and that is thespateam.com. All right, Bronco Nation News. We got a couple comments coming in. Irby, Defensive Player of the Week in the Mountain West. I haven't checked my email yet. That must have just come through at 10 o'clock. Jeremiah Irby, Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week, 2 interceptions. Hats off to Jeremiah Irby. A big honor and award for him. Jeremiah Irby, nice there. We appreciate Dylan for letting us know that. So go subscribe if you can. Mike Prater, Nathan Carroll, all kinds of great coverage. Football, basketball. They had the secret scrimmage against Washington, and one person did tell me the result, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say it or not or what happened. But I would just say from the one person I heard from, sounds positive. What went down up in Seattle for the scrimmage against Washington, but trying to get more information and see what we're allowed to put out there from that. But the Broncos sounds positive. I'll just leave it at that. And I'm not even, 100% sure that's confirmed, trying to get more information, details, score, whatever. But I'll leave it at that for now. But appreciate you guys. $7 a month. We'd love to have you subscribe. We got the 30% off special going right now. And then obviously we're going to have, we have the annual option, all kinds of great options. We'd love to have you jump in and subscribe. We're about 20 subscribers short from our goal for the year. And so if you can help us out, we'd really appreciate that. And we'll be doing subscriber only contests like these wheels and things. I have all kinds of gift cards to the James I'm going to give away. So we got some cool, we'll probably do some James gift cards for the voicemails moving forward here. Maybe $100 to the James Kitchen and Bar. We can give you 4 of these $25 gift cards, or we just give away, 7 $25 gift cards. We've got some different gift cards and things we can give away for subscribers moving forward here. So hopefully you see value in your subscription, and hopefully you're enjoying it. And if you're not on board yet, hopefully you see value in wanting to get on board, and we'll jump on board. Again, BroncoNationNews.com, the fastest growing online community for Boise State fans. So appreciate all you guys. Thanks so much. I mean, this is really your show, your voicemails, your comments. I'm just here to kind of host it and narrate it, but we want to hear from you guys, and we try to give you a platform to do that each and every day. So thanks a lot. Brad Bedell will join me at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We can get into some of the O-line issues and some of the other topics. 9 a.m. Brad Bedell tomorrow, and we'll talk to you guys later. Again, Bronco Nation News. Go subscribe. Part of the all-new 24/7 sports family. How about the Bessinger, the quarterback commit, visiting Iowa? Our man Chris V, talking to him today, and we'll have a story up there. How serious is Iowa trying to flip him and his commitment after visiting Iowa over the weekend? We'll have details on that. Some other great topics and things. Chris V is all over the recruiting side of this, so you're going to want to subscribe now. Brandon Huffman, Blair Aguayo, Greg Biggins, all the national 24/7 guys talking about guys coming to visit this week. As I mentioned, other guys taking visits elsewhere, commits. How committed are they? If you want to stay in line with the recruiting aspect of Boise State football, sign up, subscribe today at BroncoNationNews.com. And like I said, Traden Bessinger, the quarterback commit, Chris will be talking to him today, and we'll have a full story on where Iowa is and trying to flip him and his commitment. So appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in about 90 minutes for the Spencer Danielson press conference on the YouTube channel of Bronco Nation News and online, BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.